thank you for coming. For new folks, we'll just tell you what we're here. This is Social Marketing for Business. Join the Conversation is the name of the group. We call it that because we want this to be a conversation. We try to construct the feel of a social network. So this is not a workshop. This is not necessarily an agenda-driven seminar or anything like that. We want to have a conversation about how business people are using and generating measurable ROI, return on investment, from social media marketing. But you're all here because I think you understand some of that and live in it every day and notice that the way that we communicate in the world over the past 4 or 5 years has changed irrevocably. Kathy, would you please start us off?
I will. Social media listening is the process of rooting out the posts, tweets, and status updates that matter to your brand among the millions that are generated every single day. Listening isn't about simply capturing those posts in a listening platform. It's about paying attention to the information you glean from those posts and acting accordingly. In the last minute alone, people across the globe have posted 42,000 Facebook status updates and 173,000 tweets. That creates ample opportunity for the brand to listen and learn.
There's different things to listen to, okay? Because when folks tweet or they post, sometimes there's noise, sometimes there's action, and sometimes it's skewed a little bit by the question that's asked or the questions that's posed. And so determining relevance as you're listening is one of those questions that I have, whether it's social media or otherwise, but particularly in social media where there's volume.
Who is this? And who do I need to listen to? Who are the influencers in the marketplace? And it will take some time and some involvement to say, this person's relevant, this person isn't. Or this entity's relevant, this entity isn't. Luke?
Well, and that's part of this whole listening process. I use Google Alerts for listening to stuff, and then as you just watch those over a period of time, you start to learn, okay, that when people, when this keyword pops in that I thought was related to me, and it looks like this, it's not related to me. So for instance, my company, we have a brand name, and so I have that as a Google alert that pops up, but then there's another company in Haiti that does relief work. Well, when that pops up, there's typically some word that's related to Haiti or something, and it's like, okay, they're not talking about my company. And so I just pop through that, and that's part of that listening process, is learning what people are saying and who's saying stuff out there.
So there's all these words that you go figure out, and we started with the keywords around which we're doing an internet strategy, right? Just like you do for search engine optimization. And that's where I started. That's our process, is to start there and then dig into the data and dig into the data and dig into the data, and then you figure out, again, who's worth paying attention to in the marketplace.
Because everybody's giving this great advice on how to listen, and what if people aren't talking? I guess that's one of the things. Don't they have to kind of talk on your page, or don't they have to talk to you? I mean, is that a silly question?
John, can I pull you in?
So if people aren't talking, they're not participating in all the channels available to them, and it's probably because you haven't yet given them a reason to care and get them to start participate in your conversation. So there's got to be something dynamic and something interesting and something of value that they check and wanna become a part of building an engaged community around a brand before they're going to participate.
So look for ways to present content that gets them talking, that might not necessarily deal with the technical aspects of the business.
I think it's got to be an action on the part of someone in the audience, somebody who's listening, making the effort to respond to something you as a client or a merchant or as an individual have placed in the marketplace.
Yeah.
You care enough to say something back to you.
Is it only comments though? I mean, are there other things that would make up talking on shares or what?
I think shares got to count, right? Because a share is kind of a referral.
Somebody's made an action. Somebody's taken an action.
Right. I agree. I would agree. I think a like, a retweet, a
PR story.
Good. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Especially if you've taken the time to construct a whole blog post or a press release.
Not even if you do it. I get, with my Google alerts, I get other people that are using my key terms and other PR stories.
I'll throw out an odd one. Not responding to people who have posted things on your company Facebook page says a lot.
95% of the comments that people make on company Facebook pages are not responded to, all right, are ignored. 95%. And 88% of people who see that say it's less likely or far less likely they're ever going to do business with that company. Because what that says to people is you don't care. These negative reviews that you get aren't because people have it in for you. They are invariably because somebody tried to talk to you and you didn't listen. Because they tried to talk to the guy who was at the house and didn't get satisfaction. So they called the office and they got a brick wall. And so they have nowhere else to go but online. And maybe they'll pay attention to me here.
Although in a lot of cases, we have trained people to just go online in the first place. I cannot tell you how many customer service issues people just post on Facebook. And it's like, did you call our customer service people? Clearly not, because if you had, you would have had this resolved already. You just automatically, you're like, I'm already online, let me just go on your Facebook page. And then I tell them, contact our customer, and they're like, oh, right, okay, that's much better now. And so, and then also, we do have trolls. Trolls are very real on the internet. And so there are a lot of people who say, well, I didn't like the answer that you gave me, and so I'm just gonna, be angry at you.
I just have something to add about that. There was someone who spoke up here about a year ago. She was sitting in the front row, and she was a great story, because she said that she had tried customer service with regard to a complaint regarding a utility company, and she wasn't getting anywhere, and in frustration she said, I'm going to try Twitter or Facebook, and then someone was listening and instantly she got her problem resolved. So she did try customer service.
I think this is what we're conditioning the market for.
Yes.
I think this is Luke's point, is that there are times when, and we see it, companies react to it when everybody can see it. That's more of a company culture thing. I mean, you're right, you can't control what's going on there in the marketplace. And I do agree that we're trying to react and catch up to this thing, right? And we are conditioning people to go online and do this. And it's just so much more comfortable and anonymous, right, to just put that stuff out there than it is to actually call somebody and confront them. I think they're looking for a response, for saying, I understand that you're there. It's just like when somebody walks into your store, you acknowledge them, right? I see you there, I'll be with you, right? Hey, let me finish with this customer, and then I'll take care of you. But don't let me stand there waiting to see if anybody's going to acknowledge me, right? But you just want to see that you're there and you're listening and that you care, correct?
We just booked a vacation. And one of the things we did is we looked at all the hotels that were at the destination we wanted to go to. And we looked at the comments from people that had actually been there.
Right.
And one of the things that stood out to me was there was one hotel that was actually taking the time to respond to people's negative comments online. We chose that hotel because they were taking the time to say, I am so sorry you had this happen, please contact us, we're going to take care of it. So to me, that potential power of responding to a negative comment is absolutely, as he was just talking about, incredibly powerful.
But follow up on that, if you've ever gotten a negative comment on Yelp and gone to respond to it, or on Google, all right, the first thing you get is, wait a minute, right? You get this box that says, you don't want to do this. Right? You're making a mistake here. Yelp strongly advises against responding online. All right? And Google does the same thing. Google, and they both say, if you feel you must, here are some guidelines, kind of thing. Our clients, we always respond online. Always. For that reason. So, again, I don't know why Yelp would tell you that, but we think it's crucial. If someone gives you a positive comment, you should say thank you for that.
What you're doing is you're increasing your likability quotient for them with your rapport, and then you're back over here and they're buying.
I think that's a great point, and I think the underlying thing there is that there are a number of practices, number of things that we do, that we've done for a long time that make us successful, and they apply to social media.
You can focus a brand. All industries, all businesses go through an evolution of their messaging where they start off as a commodity. We're the only people that do this. Then it goes to a product. Our lawn service is better, or this is better. It goes to this, or then it goes to a service. we provide better service, we listen better, we do things better, and then it evolves up to an experience. That's why it's Open a Coke, Live, these moments of happiness brought to you in the Olympics from Coca-Cola. And so if you think of your business as an evolution and say, am I focusing my message on a product, on the service, or on the experience that people are going to have with my brand, they're focusing on the experience. We make people's lives more enjoyable.
Question for you. I was in August at a really neat brew pub in Pasadena. They had fabulous food. Now, I gave them a credit card in my name to pay, and I did check in on Foursquare and commented on the food and the beer. They're now following me on Twitter.
One time we brought up, talked about listening using technology,
Yeah.
and such as going out there to finding out who's tweeting, who's talking, say in my world's insurance. So as people are on these discussions out there, are many different discussions, different types of blogs, other type of social media, things of this nature. Is there, like say, technology listening devices that all of a sudden alerts you to, oh, these people are wanting to find out about insurance, so therefore we can zero in and target our specific marketing efforts on that population base or this group of people using technology?
I think that's a perfect way to wrap this up quickly. Here on the, and we're not going to get, we could talk about this stuff. Yeah, it is, and we try to cover it here. There's a blog post here that's available for everyone. It's on the Webolutions blog. It's about listing social media channels. There's a link there to a site that lists 200 different listening services of different levels of sophistication and price and so forth. And again, Steve, I'll go back to what we were talking about earlier with Phil, is that it's an iterative process. You have to get on these tools and build your profile on it. And it's never going to be a set it, forget it deal, because different terms enter the marketplace, different people enter the marketplace, different things that happen that shift the influence model. And the reasons that you listen. I kind of thought that we might get into this. The conversation just never went there. But why do you listen? I think we tried to, why listen, right? We put some bullet points out there. And Steve, love this, is extremely optimistic that somebody's going to be out there saying, how do I get more insurance? How do I get better insurance? Or somebody's going to come out and complain about, I don't like my current deal, right? Or I don't like my company's current, I wish we had better options at my company. And Steve wants to be part of that conversation.
A lot of ways companies like what they are, who are.
Well, I had a gig, so I'm sorry I was unable to.
Director of sales, or I know somebody looking for a director.
I was in the Facebook group, and we pretty much talked about something that I think is going to be a topic in here actually in the next meeting or so, I understand, is having a listening plan. Before you start listening, it can be really overwhelming, especially if you're the only one listening to various channels, not just Facebook, but Yelp, in my case, hotels.com, different sites there. We've talked about your presence is out there and people are talking about you whether you know it or not. But I think having a plan to listen, especially on Facebook, because pretty much everyone has one, makes it a lot less overwhelming, and a better place to start listening is to have kind of a listening plan. And we talked a little bit about settings on Facebook, and do you allow people to make posts and comments? Do you allow people to share pictures? And there are admin settings. What is your business's ideal settings to be listening? And that can be part of your plan also.